CK, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, how's it going, Barry? Happy to be here. First of all, my name is Chinedum Umachi, but I typically go by CK. I currently work at Pacific Gas and Electric in Northern California on a team called Energy Strategy and Innovation as an expert product manager, primarily focused on blockchain, but also on the grid of the future in general. As far as my background, I got my undergraduate degree from MIT in material science and engineering. After that, I actually went to work for ExxonMobil for about 3 years in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. After about 3 years, realized I probably didn't want to spend much more time in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and found a job at Pacific Gas and Electric out here in California. Been with the company for about 4.5 years now. Spent most of the first 3 years of my time at the company working on pipeline risk management. Then I transitioned into a role focused on blockchain technology, which is kind of cool because I had, back in 2017, got really into blockchain, crypto, and Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. So it's been kind of cool being able to do it on the enterprise corporate side. As far as the team that I'm on, we're called Energy Strategy and Innovation. So what our team really focuses on is the grid of the future. So really not looking at day-to-day operations of the utility, but looking 5 to 25 years out and thinking about all the new technologies that are coming up, the different policy discussions that are happening now, and as well as the trends that are out of our control, talking about climate change, wildfire response. So all these things, thinking through how they're going to impact the grid and how we can pivot our business model or how we should position ourselves into the future so we can be successful for ourselves and for our customers. As far as my personal job, there's no typical day-to-day kind of structure. It's really kind of whatever's pressing. So in my job, I have a lot of autonomy to really go figure out what we want to work on. And I have some counterparts that we do a lot of brainstorms together. We'll come up with some ideas and go and meet with different subject matter experts to kind of think through the ideas, put together business plans, find third-party vendors who want to work with us and know a little bit more about the technical coding side of things. And we've been working with them. So that's part of it. Done a lot of conferences, a lot of different conferences really to go and learn and network. And collectively, the utilities across the world are all trying to figure a lot of this stuff out together. So a lot of good collaboration between these organizations as well. And then also at work, I'm also part of the National Society of Black Engineers network. So NSB's National Organization for Students, but we have our own network at work that really tries to support a lot of these programs. So it's partly why I know Barry supporting a lot of the initiatives through that.
You had a lot of really good advice, I thought, about what are some key characteristics that are important to success.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I say one of the main ones is networking. So for me, I'm not a natural networker, not a natural people person, and tend to keep to myself definitely when I was younger. And as I've gotten older, start to really understand the benefits of networking. It's definitely helped me out in real time. The job that I'm in now, I was able to land that job because I was reaching out to people, starting up conversations, and it just kind of happened organically. And those opportunities never would have presented themselves otherwise. And also this fall, I'm going to Stanford to get my MBA. And those opportunities definitely were in large part driven just through networking and meeting the right people, having some good discussions with people and leveraging people in my network to have discussions and give advice and also support me throughout that journey. So definitely networking is huge. And I would start that as early as possible and try to do what you can to hold on to those relationships. Another big one that's definitely served me well is asking questions, asking thoughtful questions. A lot of times other people have similar questions, but they're a little shy to ask the question, or they might want to hold off on it. Or other times people don't even know what they don't know until you ask the question. And I've definitely had people come to me and say, hey, you asked that question. I didn't even think about it like that. So definitely that serves you well. It shows that you're engaged. It shows that you're really focused on what you guys are working on and that you're open to learning. Along that same vein, never stop learning. That's a big one. For me, I started my career as a corrosion engineer at ExxonMobil with my degree in material science and engineering. So a lot of that translated. But in the work I'm doing now, there's absolutely barely any overlap between the two jobs, other than really the mindset to kind of make things happen. So for me, it's been a continual journey of learning as I've transitioned into different roles throughout my career. So just be open to keep learning. Once you stop school, it's not over. The last one is really just being dependable and showing up every day and being a person of your word. So if people trust you and they think they could depend on you, they'll give you opportunities and allow you to shine and kind of prove them right. So yeah, those are my big ones.
You know, you and your team spent some time with 6 students from Oakland High School last year. What are your impressions from having that experience? Was it valuable? Was it difficult, challenging? And can you see the importance to these young folks to have been able to do that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was an awesome opportunity. It's always good to kind of look at people with different work. I guess talk with people and work with people with different perspectives. So these high school students completely not they have not been exposed to the corporate world. So kind of seeing them, seeing how they acclimated, seeing the questions that they asked, and I guess kind of back to my questions point from before. There was even a couple times where students asked good questions that other people were like, that's a good question, and got people thinking about some things. So they might not have been well versed in whatever we were talking about, but just them asking questions got people kind of thinking about other lines of thought that they hadn't been going down. But just in general, it's always good to kind of interface with people. Like I said, networking is huge. So for me, I'm happy to kind of give that back to people that are coming after me, because I know I've been able to benefit from that in my career. I hope to continue to be able to benefit from that in my career. So it's a good experience for me personally, and I think just having them around kind of got people thinking about different things, and a lot of people were happy that we were exposing younger people to the environment, and really exposing them to some cool things that they wouldn't have otherwise had a chance to see.
The work that you do now, blockchain, which just fascinates me no end. But I want to ask you, and this, everybody at the company is working in different ways, and I want to ask you, how does the work you do support the future in terms of safety and resiliency and climate change? CK, you say you work with blockchain. How does blockchain matter with respect to utilities and the grid of the future?
Yeah, good question. And that's partly what my job is to figure out. I guess blockchain's been kind of a pretty hyped over the last few years for a bunch of different industries, and energy is definitely one of the ones that kind of saw it and started to try to think through how they could apply the technology. Primarily, the big use case that people were looking at is peer-to-peer exchange of energy. So think one person can sell their excess solar directly to another person without having to go through the utility per se, or kind of be able to do that in a more direct fashion, and also do the payments and handle the transactions in a more direct fashion. So that's really the big use case. There's a lot of people that have been kind of playing around in that space. But there's a bunch of different areas that people have been exploring. So one of the ones that we've been looking at PG&E is the ability to use blockchain, which when a lot of people talk about blockchain, it really comes back to trust. So blockchain allows you to be able to exchange value in a trusted manner without having to trust a central authority to do so. One of the trends that's happening on the grid right now is more and more distributed energy resources, which can include like solar, wind inverters. It can include electric vehicle chargers. It can include IoT devices like Nest thermostats or home heaters. So as more and more of these are coming connected to the grid, and in California, it's happening pretty rapidly. We need to be able to trust these devices. So one of the ways that we're exploring blockchain is if we can use that to create a platform to be able to trust and be able to authenticate and provision these devices based off of that trust layer. So a lot of different areas. So we're still learning, and as we're learning, I've even pushed back, like taking a step back on some of the things that I thought I was able to do, but that's part of the process. So it's been kind of cool. So our team focuses in kind of an R&D, so research and development kind of fashion. So it's okay to try something out, not be successful, and take those learnings back and pivot. So we've been able to do that pretty successfully over the last year, and we're continuing to push forward on things and see how far we can take things, and hopefully really understand what some potential long-term benefits of the technology could be.
I remember you said something in an earlier interview about failure, how it's okay to fail. Do you remember what you said about when you try something and it fails?
Yeah, so I was saying the team I work on is kind of like I said, we're in research and development focused team, but we kind of act like a startup in some aspects. So when you think about the startup environment, a lot of these companies are trying new things out. So similar to what we're doing now, we're trying new things out and trying to understand if there's a fit for it. So with that, it's okay, and it's preached that it's okay to fail fast. So if you're going to try something out, it's better to fail early than fail 3 years into the project after you spent millions of dollars. So the cool thing about our team is that we're able to just kind of pilot these things out, try them out, understand what work, take those learnings back, and then use those to make better plans in the future.
That's terrific. That was the thing I wanted to hear. Fail early, better than 3 years out. So let me ask you, unrelated to your work, CK, what do you do? What do you do for fun? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah. So, well, one, we're in lockdown right now, so definitely different these days than it was before. But I've honestly, so the last probably 6 to 12 months, I've been focused on getting the work, pushing towards my MBA in the fall. So, been super busy. So these days, I'm just trying to like relax and take some time off. And
good.
I don't typically play video games, but I've been playing a lot of Madden lately. Watching shows, listening to music. Trying to get out. I'm in a nice little location in Inner Sunset in San Francisco, so been able to get out, walk around. There's some good views out here, and got some good hanging out, taking time off, just trying to unwind and take a break before we get back to school in the fall.
It's real exciting that you're going back to school. Let me ask you this: when you reach the end of your career and you're ready for retirement and everything, what do you hope your legacy will be? What is it that you hope to have accomplished?
That's a great question. I never really thought about that. Honestly, personally, I just hope that I find happiness, man. I just hope that I can enjoy whatever career I make it. I'm not one stickler who thinks that you need to work your entire life. If I can find ways to be able to kind of continue to keep myself engaged, motivated, happy, curious, explore things that I want to do, that I like to do, be able to sustain myself, take care of people that I want to take care of, my family, myself, friends, and I don't know. It really just comes down to, at the end of the day, I think it's happiness. That's what it comes down to for me.
That's terrific. CK, thank you. And I know you're leaving the company, you're going back to school, but you're going to stay in touch with all of us, aren't you?
Absolutely, for sure.
Oh, okay. You better. We know where to find you. It's been a pleasure working with you and a pleasure talking to you today.
Always happy to talk to you, Barry.
What's your last day at work?
Great question. I don't know. With the quarantine going on right now, I can't travel for the summer, so I'm going to probably keep working throughout the summer. So probably sometime in August.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're going to be around for a little while that way. But of course, wishing you nothing but super success with Stanford and hoping to stay in touch with you and talk again soon.
Appreciate that. You have a good one. And it's a plane over top, so I might get a little muffled, but really appreciate the time. This is fun. So always happy to help out and support when I can.
You're the best, CK. Thanks so much.
Awesome. You have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.